Welcome to Throwback Thursday at Instantronics. We recently had a phone call from a customer who was curious about our Epilator Museum, and I thought it'd be fun to take a closer look at some of the older epilators that we had here on display. One of the things I've seen on some of the older epilators, you can see they have a drawer that pulls out and closes, and that's where different cords or different electrodes and things like that would have been stored for the electrologist. We have this very old multi-needle machine that we believe is from the 1920s. We have this even earlier epilator, which I believe is from probably the 1890s, one of the first epilators that was made. You can see the wooden box on the outside, and when it was time to adjust your settings, you literally had a movable dial that you could change the intensity of the battery for your galvanic pulse. This one is such a beauty. It doesn't look as good in this light as it sometimes does. It has almost a velveteen front and then this shiny gold top. This one was a spec machine. I think it was used as someone tried it out and and to see if it would work, but they didn't ultimately end up going with this design. They moved to a different design, which I think looked more like this guy down here instead. You can just barely see underneath there. There's a handle where you could pick it up and hold it, and it's incredibly heavy with both the timing and the intensity. Now, by the time we got to these machines from the 1950s, the name of the company had changed from the Mahler Company to the Instantron Company, and so you'll see that because of the instantaneous wavelengths. Now, this VP 500, this is an Instantron Company thermolysis machine. I don't know how many of those were made. This is the only one I've ever seen, and I haven't seen a lot of literature about that. This blend tone epilator. I recently spoke to a woman on the phone who has had a blend tone for 40 years, working for 40 years, which is pretty outstanding, I think. Here's another of these the larger box machines. And now this one must be quite a bit older. It's from the Mahler Company, so it still has the same kind of basic shape, but the handle and dials that turn, obviously, and a single needle holder over here. On these shelves, we have some other things that I think are just kind of interesting. We have 3 different SS69s. Now, this is the precursor to the SS99. You can see you've got your dials here for timing and intensity. A lot of the basics of the machine stay the same, but there's a few changes. This is the earliest one, and you can see we have a single needle holder here. And if you go down to look at the plug for the machine, the plug looks like the plugs that I found in my grandparents' home from things that they bought in the 30s, 40s, 50s, an older style plug. And then with the two other Instantron machines, you notice the plugs have evolved. They look as though they're a little bit more substantial. They look more like modern plugs at this point. We have we have a few machines that weren't Instantronics machines, but we got from other companies. This 2001 is from Kree, and then we have this Kree Dermatron 2 here. We have a Compuderm. We have some older foot pedals. I'm not sure. This might be an early Instantron foot pedal is my guess on this. And it does have, not a banana clip, which is the more modern way of attaching the machine. This old Kree foot pedal. This one is called, it says Bircher. I don't know if that was an independent company or if there was an epilator manufacturer named Bircher, but if any of you know, I'd be glad to hear about it. And then we have a large Kree foot pedal here. And again, this is now a more modern machine. You're seeing the 3-pin connector there. A couple of the large box style Instantron machines. And I'm always fascinated to see how many different colors there were. These are both sort of a beigey brown color, but they're not the same beigey brown. So that was constantly being updated. And last but not least, we have here, I love this. This is like a proper suitcase. I think my parents had a suitcase like this that would have been their high school suitcase, and I saw it in the 70s. It has two latches that come off of it, and then on the inside, here you've got your epilator, and this is, again, an older Kree machine, but so much fun to look at, right? With the timer buttons you can push to change, and the pilots. Anyway, so this is our little walk back through epilator time. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hope to see you on future videos. Thanks.